Hello YouTube, my name is Marie. Today we are going to talk about the full season of Nevertheless. I have a first impression which was a little bit over half the season. It was 1 to 7 episodes review. I'll link that right there. And in that video I do give the synopsis, the character breakdowns, more about the plot, which we're not going to talk about here because it is a spoiler review. I am assuming that you guys have all watched it. So in fact, I haven't even scripted this video. I just have a few things in my head that I know I personally want to discuss and talk about and get more of your opinions on it. So this is not a super structured video. If I can figure out timestamps afterwards in the editing process, I'll add chapters below, but really just get yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee. I've got mine right here, and let's just talk about Nevertheless. So I do want to give a rating for the show off the bat because it'll help frame the rest of my discussion, because I do have quite a few criticisms of the show, but overall I did enjoy it. If someone were to ask me, Marie, should I watch this show? I would say yes, because I think it is a breath of fresh air to the romance K-drama genre. I think they're doing a lot of things that don't follow the K-drama formula that make it very interesting and exciting to watch, at least for me. So my overall rating is going to be a 4 out of 5 stars. I found it quite an intoxicating show to watch. I loved how strong the female voices were. Like, the female gaze is everywhere in this show, and that was very exciting to me, especially because it's a show that really focuses on romance and intimacy. So to have the female voice so strongly represented with that subject matter was a lot of fun, and I personally really related to a lot of discussions being had. I found it to be a very relatable show. What else did I love about it? Well, I really did love the original score and the soundtrack. It was beautiful. It really elevated a lot of the scenes. Not that the scenes really needed elevation, because they themselves were stunning. It's not very often where I watch something and I want to know who the director was so that I can go watch more works from them. I'm not really a director or writer driven viewer. I'm more of an actor driven viewer. Like, I have a lot of faith and trust in the actors that I like, and I will specifically watch shows just because they're starring in them. For instance, like, I just started watching, actually I just dropped Monthly Magazine Home, I think that was what it was called, and I specifically put that on because I really like the female lead actress, even though the show itself did not really stay appealing to me. So now we're really getting into the spoiler part of this video, and I want to talk specifically the ending, the last episode. I don't know if it's because I kind of stopped my binging of the show, like I was right in the middle of a move and starting a new semester, but I wasn't able to keep watching it as quickly as I had been for those first 7 episodes. So I did find the last few episodes, particularly the season finale, really draggy. Like, I actually started and stopped that final episode 3 or 4 times. So not only was it draggy, but I found certain stylistic choices didn't land for me. For instance, the male lead, they start giving him moments of narration. There's never an actual episode from fully his perspective with his narration, but there's small little moments, and I found it to be this very cheap attempt at giving him development. And if you have watched my first impression, you know that in that video I was really calling for more development from our male lead. I wanted to know his backstory, his motives, like just more about him, not as a lover. And unfortunately, even the narration that we do get from him is all centered around Nabi and his feelings for Nabi, which, you know, like, I know that's what the show is about, and it was nice to get it straight from the source how he was feeling, but I would have so much preferred if that was conveyed through actual conversations between the two characters, not through cheap narration. The narration was so unnecessary because it's not anything that you couldn't have discerned from just watching the acting going on. And because this show is so heavy on Nabi and the women's voices, having only his narration for the small little bits that we get, again, it just added to this cheap kind of manipulative feeling. Like, I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to give him development and more growth for the audience, but it's just not, it didn't work for me. It didn't work. Actually, another scene that I really didn't like was to do with one of our side relationships. I can't remember their name, but it has to do with the couple that were kind of like a mirror to our main couple, where it was the girl who kind of didn't want to commit. And the way they reconnected, I found to be so overdone, because the camera really focuses on that female character. And at first I'm like, I really like this, because again, it's the female gaze, it's so strong about her and her emotions, and it's so clear on her face. But it was so weird. It was almost as if they could cut the male character out completely, and I have a guess that it could be because of the controversy surrounding that male actor. It seemed very clear that they were, like, the director was trying to cut that character out of the scene so that actor had the least amount of screen time possible because of the controversy surrounding him. And I think there does need to be a bit of a separation between art and real life. If you were a viewer and had no idea that that controversy was happening with that actor, it would be kind of a weird, clunky scene. Let's talk about Nabi and her childhood friend and how that relationship panned out, and I really have very few opinions on it because, you know, I think it was really clear from the very beginning of that relationship, like the rekindling of it, that Nabi was looking for her friend and he was looking for more, and the progression of it, and she was always very upfront and honest with him about like what she could give him and what she was looking for from him. Like, I thought it was all fine. It's nice, actually, especially the way he took it. It was very mature, and yeah, I liked it. But the romance that I have the most problems with is our leading romance between Nabi and our male lead, because I really do think they shouldn't have ended up together. I think the show missed an opportunity to be a discussion about boundaries and communication, and how a lack of communication can be the downfall of a otherwise wonderful, passionate relationship. Them coming back together at the end was earned at all. It was just unsatisfying. I could really envision Nabi staying single and getting on a plane and going to Paris and, you know, just discovering more of herself. I did pose the question to you guys, and one of you did say that that's a little bit too predictable, and I don't know if I agree, because I feel like the more predictable ending is the one that we actually got, because almost every romance K-drama that I've ever watched, the main pairing do end up together. So to subvert that and have a romance not end with a happy romance, I think would have been really memorable. So last thing I want to touch on is our lesbian queer relationship, and I'm so happy with how it developed, how it went. I have no words. They are just the cutest. I wholeheartedly root for them. I love the way it was all handled. I have no complaints. So that is everything from me. I hope you guys have a good day and a good night, and if you have any opinions on Nabi, as specifically how it ended, I would love to hear them below, because this is definitely a very polarizing show, and I always find those a lot of fun. So keep it respectful. If anyone's getting mean, you're just getting deleted and blocked. I have no problem with doing that. Have a good day and a good night. Bye.